What's up, yotv? We are back and it is sunny. We are in San Francisco, but this time around we are going to take you to the East Bay. We got stories from Skyline High and Richmond High, and you're going to want to stay tuned. So go ahead and check it out.
Oh boy, yeah, we yotv, we back in.
Youth culture, youth voices, youth power, coming at you.
What's happening? We yotv out here.
Before we go any further, I have to dig up the magazine. Youth Outlook.
Oh boy, tell us if you know.
Youth Outlook, chronicle of young people's lives in the Bay Area.
Known all over the Bay and beyond.
Got a lot of good stuff for you this time. Yo!
Good morning, yotv. We are here hanging out at the toll booth, also known as home of the Giants. We're waiting to catch Barry's ball, but you know, whatever. Anyways, I'm Ann.
I'm Johnny.
And we are here to bring you what's going on in the Bay. This time around, we're going to teach you about youth together. Youth together. What is it?
They help resolve conflicts in schools amongst young people. It's a pretty cool thing.
Well, we got the background information for you. We talked to some of the mediators, and you get to learn all about it up next on yotv.
Youth Together was created in response to racial tensions that were happening in Bay Area schools, specifically racial tensions at Castlemont High School in Oakland, at Fremont, McClymonds, Skyline, Berkeley High, and Richmond High. And what was happening was these large-scale racial fights between African American students, Rasa students, Asian students, and Black students. It was pretty much all over the place.
I am the example of how an organization like Youth Together could really impact a youngster's life. You know, putting them in activities, keeping them busy, showing them that they do have a voice, showing them that they do have power to change. Not change policies here in school, not change things that are happening inside of classrooms, but really change them. And I could have easily been into any kind of activities. You know, I could have easily sold drugs and made money if I felt like I had to do it. I could have easily pulled up a gun and shot somebody if I had to do it, you know. But because I chose not to, and because I chose to stay in the activities that I stayed in and made my own decisions, that helped save me.
I've been involved with youth work for about the last 7.5 years in the Bay Area, 8 years. And from the start, I've always heard about Youth Together and really admired their work. Initially from a program that I was with in West Oakland at McClymonds High School, and just hearing about their work in Oakland. Youth Together does Unity Days. I know that they do that at Skyline, at Castlemont. Even just how deliberate they are in terms of naming their community spaces, one land, one people. So they do a lot of anti-violence education. They do a lot of convening of young people in similar spaces that they can talk about their issues.
Do you think that the role Youth Together plays is one that the schools should play?
No. And the reason why I say that is because I think Youth Together takes and lifts a big burden out of the school. I think Youth Together works as a partnership in team with the administration, but the disciplinary, the educating in terms of diversity, racial tension, or even conflict between the same race, you know, I think Youth Together is very necessary and very needed, because this is way too much for the district to handle. This is way too much for the administration to handle.
We understand that principals and teachers are overburdened with the requirements that they have to meet, the academic requirements. All of our schools, they have to worry about students passing the exit exam. They have to worry about meeting their target test score numbers. They have to worry about making sure that their attendance doesn't drop. We see ourselves as advocates and organizers for the young people there, and also for the adults on that campus, for the teachers and for the administrators, because it's not anybody's fault. We have teachers doing their job, administrators doing their job, but they also need to have in mind that, you know, as an entire community, we need to take care of the whole student, and that's where Youth Together comes in.
Sitting here with my SEAL friend, got his baseball up here. While I stay here, I'm gonna take a lap around the park. You check out youthoutlook.org. Do that. I love you.
right, now that you know what Youth Together is, we are gonna head over to Skyline High, where there was a conflict. I think there was a fist fight going on, but Youth Together stepped in and they're helping to relieve the situation by talking out the problem. So go ahead and squash some beef. So go ahead and learn about it up next on YoTV.
An altercation took place on campus that erupted into something far more than what it should have. And initially it was just two kids fighting, and their friends got involved. And unfortunately, the two kids were not of the same race. And so when they brought their friends in, it looked like a race riot when it really had nothing to do with race. It had everything to do with one kid being silly and bothering another kid. But because, there were two different races, people called it a race riot. But when we talked to the kids, it really wasn't about race.
It wasn't really about black or Mexicans or nothing like that. It was just about them trying to help. You could have came if you was a Mexican or if you was white. It's just that it was mainly black people there. I don't think that Mexicans really got a deep problem with black people, and we don't really got a deep problem with them. But I guess it's just because we in the same environment, we get put in separate categories that we just end up fighting each other sometimes.
It doesn't really matter the race, because there's some problem between the Mexicans, and then there's some problem between their own races. So it's not just Mexicans and blacks, it's all races. On the street, it's different. It's the own people we fighting, killing each other, because it's just for colors or terrorists or blacks, something really stupid.
The fight happened inside the cafeteria one morning. It was just an incident between, it wasn't even a black or a Raza thing. And, it was about being disrespected at the door. And so they fought, that happened, they went to the office, and then it just escalated from the office when they left campus. And it fueled this whole thing of, oh, my partner got jumped, so we got to jump the other people back because that's my partner. You can't jump my partner like that. And so during passing period, you see, like, we have mirrors all around school, right? And this is the wall. This is what they call the wall over here. The Raza kids hang out right there, and they just posted that's where they stay. A whole bunch of kids came over here to speculate the fight that was going to happen, the showdown. And so, one thing led to another, and they started fighting over here. And, everybody heard about it, so they, security guards came over here trying to break it up. People from the youth center came over here trying to break it up. Since that day, we did a mediation. A lot of people didn't come to school, and a lot of the students who were involved with it got suspended, right? And so we were just trying to pick up bits and pieces in the beginning when we started the mediation, trying to hear sides of the story of like actually what happened and trying to make sure that we got everybody to get the information correct instead of like spread more rumors.
The youth center people got 7 of their people and 7 of our people, and just had a little conversation to talk about what happened, and then that helped it out.
I mean, the truce was called in terms of like making agreements and identifying the problem and really having a resolution to those problems and agreements. Really like just hashing it all out, and then we haven't had an incident since then, So I've been working closely with both of the groups and trying to figure out, okay, so what do you guys need? Because it's not about the fight. It's about the root causes of the problems for the fight to happen.
It's just gonna take for everybody to break out of their little cliques that they in and start kicking it with other folks. Like the Mexicans always with all the Mexicans, and the black people always with all the black people, the Asian people with the Asian people and stuff like that.
I think the tension comes from Mexicans and black because we really don't affiliate like that, talk to each other. So we really don't know what's going on. And then there's some people that come in, they don't know what's up, and they just go, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like that person. And then he tells one person, it makes that person think not to like that person, so that's how involved, and then problems start again. So that's what happened this year.
So I reach out to those kinds of young people, the non-traditional street collar, by just being really persistent. They're the kinds who, they don't have any kind of trust in anybody, and it just oftentimes starts off as just being personable. What's up, homie? How you doing? What's your name? What's going on with you? I see them again a couple of days later. What's going on? How was your day? How was your weekend? What did you get into? And just talking with them And you ask those probing questions, and slowly they might begin to open up with you. And then as they open up, you might be able to identify what some of the things that are happening with them. And if there's opportunities and ways for you to support them, whether it's just by providing a listening ear or making a referral. You know, maybe they're like, man, things are messed up in my house right now. Our PG&E just got shut down. Well, maybe we might be able to make a referral to an agency that could pay their PG&E for the month to get the lights back on. And they remember things like that. Eventually, your influence becomes out of that trust and that affection they have for you because they know you got their back. You know, so they're willing to, like, all right, look, I'll come to the table. I really do not want to talk to these fools. I'd rather put a bullet in his head than talk to him, but I'll come to the table.
I've been here for 4 years, and they were here, I guess, the year before me. And our statistics show that our fights have decreased, our suspensions have decreased, and I think it really stems upon the fact that we have conflict resolution and we have mediators who really can talk to the kids and really get through to them and give them those strategies. So they definitely have made a great impact on the campus.
Such a beautiful day. Sitting out here trying to get a shoe deal. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to go to commercial break. While we're on commercial break, you check out newamericanmedia.org.
Alright, so fights happen, we know that. You're in high school and you're around a whole bunch of people. Sometimes you get along with them, sometimes you don't. But that's why we have youth together, right?
Yeah.
We head out to Richmond. We talk about, we're talking to the young people who are trying to resolve these gang conflicts. Yeah, squashing the beef. So go ahead and check out this story that's mentioned you on your TV.
In January, when there was like the riot, it was a fight. It wasn't as big, but there was like fights, you know, and it was gang related.
Richmond High is one of the places that has a lot of sureños. And then this year, a lot of the rivals came, a lot of the norteños. So now it is like a big deal. We just finished, like, not too long ago, we had a riot because of it. So this is outside on the south side of the school. I guess where everybody says they're going to hang out is by the tree. And around there, by the benches where the norteños hang out. So over there by the biology room is where the beginning of the riot happened in January. It was just like a group of norteños when they were just hanging out right there. And then sureños came over here and just like started arguing with them. And then from there, it led on. That's when the sureños got called. And then everybody just ran in towards the mall area. After the conflict, the conversation happened by the tree, and everybody got called. Everybody rushed in towards this area, behind the bleachers, behind the lockers. At the time, it started off with like 20, 30, and then it just kept adding up to the folks. So this is the north side of the school. This is the Sureño territory. So that is tagging from Sureños, the X3 blue. So yeah, basically it can be up here. Like, it's not a problem since the school is dominated by Sureños. So they really norteños don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about it, the Sureños. This isn't my territory. I don't have no reason to come over here. I choose not to, and just because I don't want any conflict.
I see gangs as an issue everywhere. Yeah, particularly in schools. However, the focus here is not to get rid of gangs. You're not going to do that. You create a perfect society with full employment, then maybe, and get rid of racism, maybe you get rid of gangs. You're never going to get rid of gangs. And it's not my job to tell kids, listen, leave your gangs. That's a decision they have to make. What I can do is offer, listen, this is a way to solve issues. This is a way to solve problems where you do not have to find yourself at a point where you need to run into the arms of gangs. Gangs provide so-called love and security. We have to try and show our students that there are other ways of gaining acceptance and love and security.
Right now I'm still affiliated. I just choose not to, what's the word? Serve their missions. like what they ask me to do, and I don't hang out with them. I try to stay away from them a lot.
I get a lot of criticism from other colleagues in other schools that says, oh, you know, you should be booting them out. Boot them where? To go where? And what happens is with high schools, all we do is we exchange kids that we don't want. And that needs to stop. You got what you got, deal with it. And one way of dealing with it is showing these kids conflict resolution skills. This way they don't have to turn to their gangs and say, hey, let's go rumble for every issue that they have. You know, they live in poverty. They got dodged drug dealers and bullets. They're already being punished. You know, so what can a school possibly do? Yeah, you go to detention. Wow. You know, you can't
They
punish
want
them.
to go to detention.
Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. You have to engage them. You got to get out and you got to celebrate. And that's one thing Youth Together does very well. The celebrations, making people feel good.
After we did a lot of like workshops around like the cycle of violence, we did workshops on just like knowing why is it that folks resort to that, and then with Mr. Ramos, he actually started a program here and funded a program which is called American, where he actually gets folks from San Quentin who have been in there, who know the gang life, who come and like talk to the students.
Right now, growing up, my family has given me so much more, and I found out who my true family is, that they are going to be there for me when like, say I'm in the hospital or something, and the people from the gang, they're just, okay, well, she did what she did, and now we have to go get somebody else to help us or whatever. And, yeah, so, like, my family has given me so much now, and I don't think it's fair for them to have to pay for my mistakes.
All right, we're having fun here at the ballpark. We are waiting for that ball to come over the fence so we can catch it. Come on, Barry, you got it. He has a lot of plaques dedicated to him, if you haven't noticed. Wow. Anyways, we want you to check out our website. Go ahead to youthoutlook.org. And this summer, we have a free youth internship where you get to learn how to make videos and do multimedia journalism.
You get to meet me. I know you want to do that. It's okay.
So go ahead and check out the website and holla at us. Oh, but right now, commercial break. Let's forget that part. Up next, YoTV, we are taking you to San Jose, where we are gonna go hang out with Silicon Valley Debug at a protest where they talk about police brutality. There was an issue that happened down there.
Yeah, it was a bad situation. There were some tasers involved, some people, some kids. It wasn't a good thing. But if you want to learn more, check that out.
I like to say I represent all people of the community, young and old. We are the everyday people. And this is not a Filipino issue. This is not a black or brown issue. This is a community issue. We are tired of being victimized when we call the police for them to help us. We are tired of the abuse and all the racial profiling that is going on in our communities. And we want to say, all of us here want to say we are tired of it and we are not going to stand for it no more. And with that said, I want everyone to say no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace! And we ain't going to stop until we get it.
Well, this is a situation where we had law-abiding people in the community sitting in a car and police officers coming up to them and really taking extreme actions when it didn't seem to be warranted. We had one member of the family tasered with a taser weapon. We had another member of the family being abused by the police, having her head pushed against an auto, and then the other family member being tasered also. This is a case involving excessive force by the police. It's a case where really, the way we see it, charges should be filed against the police officers and all charges should be dropped against the family members. My understanding is that there are resisting arrest charges that are pending against the family. They're saying that the members of the family resisted arrest and that's why they had to use force, but we don't think that's the case.
But bringing accountability to the police department is something that really needs to happen, and with these kind of events happening, hopefully it'll bring it to the public's attention. I'm Ramel and Marlo's uncle, and I've known Mary Lou Custodio since 1983. This family is a good, hardworking family. They were involved in this situation where we shouldn't even be here today. This should never have happened.
Thank you very much for coming out today and supporting us. My mother, my 3 brothers, and I have been going through a lot of difficult times, and your presence here today has been a great source of strength for us. Thank you.
On Regular TV, we hope you enjoyed that. As Donnie keeps his gangster pose on. Anyways, we are gonna be back next Saturday morning, so if you want, go ahead and check us out at youthoutlooks.org. Submit your materials and maybe we'll air it. And go ahead and add us to as friends on MySpace, because we love that. Enjoy your summer days, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Swing, bada, 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 bada,
Swing, bada, bada, swing. Swing, bada, swing.
Swing. All right, so I had hope for our Warriors, but they failed us. So I'm rooting for the Giants now. Different sport, I know. What, next season? I have faith in my Warriors. What? I believed, and then they broke it.
We believed and they betrayed us. They lost. Oh, Baron, why?